Reaction to Taylor Swift's engagement.
Good, congratulations, I guess.
Travis actually grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and given the close connection that we have with him.
Taylor Swift's engagement to Travis Kelce has officially turned into a global circus, and everyone, from exes to entire countries, is trying to grab a spotlight. First up, Fernando Alonso delivered a cryptic four-word reaction that had fans dissecting every syllable. Then, one of Taylor's high school exes resurfaced, pitching himself as her wedding videographer in the ultimate LinkedIn power move, and so on. An Australian city council hilariously petitioned to host the wedding down under.
Felt that it was really important that we put together some ideas for them to consider for their wedding day.
Meanwhile, beloved streamer QTCinderella is begging to bake the cake. Adding fuel, Nick Wright blasted conspiracy theorists who still claim the romance is fake.
I would just like for the people who 2 years ago were very adamant that the relationship was a work, was publicity stunt, all of those things. Is there a moment of public shame?
Finally, insiders say Taylor is torn between a cozy, intimate ceremony or a royal-scale extravaganza, while Travis remains totally unfazed. Fernando Alonso, the guy who's been tearing up racetracks for decades, has finally chimed in on Taylor Swift's engagement to Travis, and let's just say his response was peak Alonso. Short, cryptic, and sprinkled with just enough sarcasm to make everyone wonder if he's still salty or just having fun with it. Now, if you rewind to 2023, social media was going wild with whispers that Alonso and Swift might have been a thing. It started with one of those mysterious posts that fans love to dissect like it's the Zapruder film of celebrity dating. Add in the fact that Swift had just split from Joe Alwyn while Alonso had broken up with Andrea Schleger, and suddenly people were convinced the two were secretly swapping playlists and racing metaphors. Fast forward to now, Swift and Kelce are basically the poster couple for 2020's pop culture, announcing their engagement after turning the NFL into their personal rom-com stage since summer 2023. Naturally, reporters couldn't resist throwing the question at Alonso, and while other F1 drivers gave the usual polite responses, Alonso smirked, chuckled, and tossed out a four-word reaction that's basically translated to, cool for them, moving on, classic.
Reaction to Taylor Swift's engagement.
Good, congratulations, I guess.
And because Swifties never let anything slide, some fans even tied Alonso back into Taylor's music. When she dropped the Tortured Poets department, one track had lyrics that felt a little too on the nose, talking about small talk, big walk, and being steered into a ditch like, wait for it. And Aston Martin. Cue conspiracy theories about Alonso being immortalized in verse. So now that Alonso's smirk has been decoded like it's some F1 pit lane strategy, let's shift gears to another guy from Taylor's past who decided this engagement party was the perfect time to crash the headlines. Out of nowhere, one of Taylor's alleged high school boyfriends popped up online with what can only be described as the most chaotic wedding pitch since that time your cousin offered to DJ for exposure. This blast from the past, Andrew, dusted off an old yearbook-style photo of himself and Taylor and basically said, yep, that's me. I dated her before she was selling out stadiums and casually breaking the internet with Instagram posts. And then, in the ultimate plot twist, he claimed that thanks to Taylor, he actually ended up meeting his now wife. Apparently their first bonding session was over, you guessed it, Taylor's music. Honestly, that sounds like the most Swiftie love story ever. We met because of Taylor, and now we film weddings together. But Andrew wasn't just strolling down memory lane. Oh no, he went full business mode, offering up his services as a wedding videographer for Taylor and Travis. The man literally turned his teenage heartbreak into a LinkedIn pitch. Fans immediately jumped in with jokes, saying Taylor might want him to shoot the whole affair since, well, it doesn't get more poetic than an ex filming your happily ever after. One even pointed out the obvious, that Taylor is worth billions, so Andrew joking about her having a limited budget was comedy. People are eating it up too. Some called his humor gold, others said the whole thing sounded like a Hallmark script waiting to happen. Boy loses girl, girl becomes global superstar, boy films her wedding while sneaking in jokes about budget cuts. Tell me you wouldn't watch that. And just when you thought the ex-boyfriend cameo was peak chaos, enter an Australian city council sliding into TAYVIS' wedding plans like it's open mic night at a comedy club. Yup, Redland City Council in Queensland has gone viral after basically pitching itself as the ultimate down-under wedding venue for the couple. Forget New York penthouses or Paris cathedrals. These guys want Taylor and Travis saying "I do" in front of a rec hall and a fishing jetty. Bold. Their social media team even whipped up a masterpiece. Photos of Taylor and Travis photoshopped onto local landmarks, like the Cleveland Point Recreation Reserve. It's giving high school project meets official tourism campaign, and the internet can't get enough. They captioned it with a playful nudge that screamed, "Hey Tay and Trav, if this isn't you, keep scrolling." Spoiler, nobody scrolled, everybody stopped. Then the mayor got in on the action, hopping onto morning TV like she was auditioning for The Bachelor Council Edition. She joked about Travis being from Cleveland, Ohio, and said Redlands and Cleveland are practically twins. If twins live 15,000 kilometers apart, and one had kangaroos instead of cornfields. According to her, the connection is basically cosmic fate, so why wouldn't they want to get married there?
Travis actually grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, and given the close connection that we have with him,
Look, you know,
give or take 15,000 kilometres,
I know.
we felt that it was really important that we put together some ideas for them to consider for their wedding day.
Local tourism operators are also campaigning hard, promising bay views, sunset at Wellington Point, and islands that look great in Instagram carousels. The whole pitch is basically, come for the wedding, stay for the koalas. You got to admire the hustle. It's not every day a council shoots its shot at a billionaire pop star and an NFL champ. And because this wedding circus apparently has no breaks, even the cake is now a headline. Enter QTCinderella. Yes, the Twitch star who built an empire out of baking, streaming, and wrangling gamers into tuxedos for the Streamer Awards. She hopped on X this week and basically screamed into the void, "Let me make the wedding cake, please! It would be the honor of my life!" And then, in the most relatable move ever, she immediately backtracked with a cool and casual disclaimer, as if tagging Taylor, Travis, Tree Payne, and the New Heights podcast was just a Chill Tuesday thing. Here's the kicker. QT isn't just fangirling, she's actually legit. Before Twitch fame, she was a professional wedding cake designer, the kind who can whip up multi-tiered confections that look too good to eat. Fans are already imagining her dropping a Swiftie-coated cake, lavender layers, football accents, maybe even Easter eggs hidden in the frosting. And while Aussie councils are photoshopping Taylor and Travis onto lighthouses and picnic spots, the internet's favorite baking queen has officially tossed her rolling pin into the mix. QTCinderella, aka Blair, aka streamer, cake wizard, event organizer, and professional multitasker, went full Swiftie mode and basically begged to make the TAYVIS wedding cake. But in true fan fashion, she posted it in all caps like a kid at a candy store, before immediately backpedaling with, "But like totally chill, no pressure." Relatable. Thing is, she's not just some random fan offering up a Betty Crocker box mix. This woman's resume is stacked like one of her triple-tiered buttercream masterpieces. She worked as a wedding cake designer, and her Twitch streams are basically part baking show, part chaotic comedy hour. The girl can whip up cakes that look like they belong in Vogue, not just on Pinterest. So when she says she wants to make Taylor's cake, it's less fangirl fantasy and more, "Give me the gig, I've got the fondant ready." And of course Swifties lost it. Because imagine this, Taylor walks down the aisle, Travis cries like it's the Super Bowl fourth quarter, and then boom! Reception opens with a 6-tier cake made by a streamer whose name literally includes Cinderella. You cannot script this better. It's giving modern fairy tale with a Twitch chat spamming hearts in the background. QT's fandom runs deep too. She's talked about Taylor endlessly on her own podcasts, so this offer feels like destiny. And if baking wasn't enough, she's also the mastermind behind massive events like the Streamer Awards and Master Baker, proving she knows how to run a show. Translation? If Taylor doesn't hire her, she's missing out on a cake and a top-tier event planner rolled into one. Meanwhile, the internet's dark side is still screaming publicity stunt like it's 2023 all over again. Seriously, some people just can't let it go. These folks act like Taylor and Travis wake up every morning plotting PR moves instead of, drinking coffee and arguing about Spotify playlists. Enter Nick Wright, the sports talking head who finally snapped on live TV and basically asked the haters if they've considered apologizing for being loud and wrong. He didn't drop names, but you could practically hear the side-eye through the screen. Nick's whole vibe was, remember when you said this was fake? Yeah, about that. And honestly, he's got a point. Taylor and Travis just got engaged, their families are mingling, and yet some corners of the internet are still clinging to the idea that this is all just a multi-billion-dollar NFL Eras Tour crossover episode.
I shouldn't have doubted what is America's greatest love story for my own Twitter gain. I don't know. Like, they seem to be really into each other, and it seems to be a healthy, delightful relationship. I would just like for the people who 2 years ago were very adamant that the relationship was a work, was publicity stunt, all of those things. Is there a moment of public shame? Is there a moment of apology? Is there a moment of, you know what?
Meanwhile, the so-called publicity stunt has lasted longer than half of Hollywood's actual marriages. If this is fake, then somebody deserves an Emmy, a Grammy, and maybe even a Lombardi trophy. But of course, the conspiracy crowd never rests. They're acting like Travis is being paid in friendship bracelets, and Taylor's writing breakup songs in advance just to cash in on streams. Meanwhile, the rest of us are just waiting for the wedding playlist reveal. And while Nick Wright is roasting conspiracy theorists like marshmallows at a campfire, poor Taylor is apparently stress-scrolling Pinterest at 3 a.m. Because according to insiders, she can't decide if this wedding should be a cozy backyard vibe or a royal coronation with tiaras and trumpet fanfares. Word is, her dream setup is twinkle lights, handwritten vows, and a guest list so small it could fit inside her Rhode Island living room. Basically, love, not optics. But then the power brokers in her orbit are like, nah, babe, this needs Windsor Castle energy. And suddenly it's Beyoncé versus barbecue. Meanwhile, Travis, he's chilling like he just won a Sunday cookout. If Taylor wants ribs by the fire pit, he's in. If she wants a Cinderella carriage with horses rented from the medieval theme park, he'll saddle up. But here's the kicker. The Hollywood elite are foaming at the mouth to score invites. Agents, managers, and even performers are allegedly begging to be part of it, some offering to sing mashups of Taylor's greatest hits, like it's American Idol Wedding Edition. Insiders even whispered that compared to this, the Met Gala will look like Taco Tuesday at your local Applebee's. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you next time.